Indeed.
Yes, we serve coffee here after lunch and dinner, and residents can have other drinks brought to them here rather than use a bar adjacent to the dining room.
How civilized.
Yes, it is. We like to think that we run our establishment like a gracious country house hotel. We don't want our residents to feel we're any sort of institution. We have disabled facilities, and all the staff, including myself, are trained nurses. When applicants with more serious medical needs are referred to our sister establishment. So now you've had the full tour about home for retired theatricals. Have you made your mind up whether you'll be joining us?
Say yes, Walter. We'll never forgive you if you don't. We need to board the bridge.
Am I on This Is Your Life?
Walter!
I presume the three Mrs. Sullivans do not need any introduction.
No, indeed, Mrs. Thompson. These ladies have been my friends for over 40 years.
I was at drama school with Walter. I was at Chichester Red with your darling.
And I was in 3 films with him.
So, tomorrow will be fine.
Lovely.
How lovely, of course it is. How lovely it is when new residents are welcomed with open arms. I'm rather jumping the gun, Mr. Neville. I'm assuming that you'll be joining us.
Would tomorrow be too soon?
Tomorrow will be fine. You can have me on the second floor tonight.
Oh, good, you're on our floor. Oh, we can have midnight feasts.
Oh, now, ladies.
Oh, only joking, Anne, I swear.
Well, we don't have many rules here, but the one about residents creeping about in the middle of the night is one that we do enforce.
Oh, they're perfectly safe with me, I can assure you. I'm a confirmed bachelor.
That's 1950 speak for gay.
Can't compromise.
Oh, my
Walter's old style, you know. Made a career out of playing sergeant majors and policemen.
Oh, my goodness. I remember you now. Weren't you in a film with Alec Guinness?
Yes, that's right. I was the sadistic company sergeant major.
Oh, my mother had a huge thing for you.
Sadly, I wouldn't have had a huge thing for her. But it's still nice to be appreciated.
Well, I'm sure you've got lots to reminisce about. I'll leave you to talk. Shall I say Marcy with some biscuits?
Oh, yes, please. Yes, and some of those Belgian biscuits.
Oh, of course. Oh, and Mr. Neville, I do hope we can exert a calming influence over these ladies. They do have the habit of leading some of the other residents astray from time to time.
Leave it to me, dear lady.
She's gone.
Ring a roses, we've all got big noses, big tits and big butts, and we're just great. Sorry, darlings, I can't do the tumble anymore. See back, too much square bashing.
Got to be getting old. I've had 2 hip replacements. Becca's had knee surgery, and Jules has got arthritis. Damn.
Oh, never mind the aches and pains. Let's sit down and have a chew wag.
Come on, yes. Oh, just in time, Marcy. Bless you. We're all parched. Ooh.
Aren't you going to introduce me to the new thespian?
Marcy, this is Walter Neville. Walter, this is Marcy, an invaluable person we cannot do without.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think she wants your autograph, Walter.
What, me? You don't even know who I am, dear.
Walter Eustace Neville, born 1941 in Swindon.
Swindon,
Attended Swindon Grammar School for Boys.
where he picked up some very nasty habits.
Not to mention several local sixth-formers down at the local pub.
Then went to Cambridge University.
Ah, the famous finishing school for confirmed bachelors.
Joined Coventry Rep for the 1963 season, where he played Laertes in Hamlet, the Falling King Lear, and many other classical roles.
It's the voice. You always have the voice star.
role was in Tony Richardson's The Charge of the Light Brigade.
Oh, enough, Marcy. You can't possibly go through Walter's full list of film credits. We'll be here for 3 days. How many films have you been in, darling?
211.
Oh, she's amazing. How does she do that?
Marcy is totally stage strong. Every time a new resident arrives, she goes on the internet and memorises their complete resume. It's awesome.
Can I have your autograph now, Mr. Neville?
With the greatest of pleasure. There we are, my dear.
Oh, we are glad you're here.
Yeah, it'd be great to have the old gang back together again.
We thought you were living in France.
I was, but Martin died. And I didn't feel like staying there anymore.
Oh.
I wanted to come back to London, but the thought of living alone in some flat just didn't appeal to me. But I got an email from my agent recommending this place. So I thought I'd give it a once-over. Never thought I'd end up living in a home.
Oh, no, darling. You mustn't think of it like that. It's not that sort of place at all.
No, it really is, like Anne Thompson said, a sort of hotel for older actors. I mean, most of us are still working, and we can come and go as we please within reason.
Thank you. You're still working?
Yes, I'm doing voiceovers at the moment, and Jules has just done an advert.
Yes, I'm the hip grandma in the incontinence pad. It's ghastly, really. But the money's good.
She gets mountains of free pads.
I don't need them, you understand.
No, of course you don't, darling. But she gives them into the office for the benefit of those who need a little discreet reading.
And I've just finished a bit part in a West End musical.
Well, that's wonderful. But I thought this was a home for retired actors. Isn't that one of the rules?
Oh, that's one of the rules they never enforce.
Yes, they'd much rather we paid our bills, you see. So Anne positively encourages us to keep working, if we can, but there's no compulsion.
So it really is like a hotel and not a home. There really aren't any rules.
Well,
Well, the bit about going into each other's rooms is a bit of a hard and fast rule, but it doesn't bother us.
Oh, God, no. There are only 4 men in residence at the moment. One is gay, one is a perpetually grieving widower, 2 are over 80, so there's fat chance of any nookie.
and even if there was anyone decent available, well, one could always practice a little discreet, horizontal conversation, if you get my drift. During the afternoon, there's no rules about the daytime.
But you haven't told me why you're all here. I thought you were all sharing a flat in Knightsbridge, paid for by your communal ex-husband.
We were, and it was a lovely flat too, but we had to do everything ourselves, and it was so expensive.
Then, Danny Stiller told us about this place. He came to tea one day and told us he'd moved in here and couldn't stop singing his praises.
Danny is here.
Yes, poor darling, he moved in the moment his wife died. Well, you know, she used to do everything for him. She went on tour, she cooked his meals, she was an absolute slave to the man. She put the kids in boarding school and everything.
Is he still doing that amazing TV series? What was it? The Master.
Oh, God, the all-seeing, all-powerful master of the universe. He controls your mind and manipulates your desires. Wonderful, Tosh. What incredibly popular. But no, Danny simply refused to carry on without Vanessa at his side. He just dwindled into a little sad mouse of a man. Mind you, he's rolling in money. That programme sold all over the world, and he gets fantastic repeat fees.
I can't imagine Danny as a little sad mouse. I mean, he he was the master. Incredibly confident, almost egotistical in fact.
Yes, well, none of us realised what an incredibly good actor he was. Apparently, it was all down to Vanessa. She was the one who made him feel supremely self-confident, and after she passed away, the master just evaporated. It's been 3 years now, and he still hasn't got over it.
Then, because of Danny's recommendations, we thought we'd come and have a look at the place. I thought, this is the place for us. Waited on hand and foot, no meals to prepare, beds made by the people, heaven. So we put on a united front to the ex-monster and told him to sell the flat.
On which he made a tidy profit, I can tell you.
And from then on, all fees to be made payable to here.
Racked with guilt, probably.
Well, yes, there was that. But we've always been able to play the guilt card with dear Edmund. It helped that he was shacked up with some 20-year-old Bond girl at the time.
And I just had my second hip operation, so Jules and Becca took me round in my wheelchair.
I can just picture it. Was the Bond girl there at the time?
Sadly, no. She was on location at the time, so we cut a picture out of the newspaper, and Becca did her turning on the tears and giving in the best years of our lives bit.
Oh, you are such bitches.
I know, but it hardly stretches one's acting abilities when dealing with Edmund.
What is the old bastard doing now?
No, he's still in great demand, acting-wise, I mean. He's just been in the new Batman film, and he's supposed to be in some film with Johnny Depp next year.
Oh, yes. And on the girlfriend front, we really don't know. He's getting on a bit now, you know. He'll be 70 next year. And he doesn't go to the gym anymore. And as for those Bond girls, they're hardly beating a path down to his door.
Well, the last we heard, and it was about a year ago, he was dating some production assistant who was nearly 50.
Yes, God, what a shock that was. I mean, 50. If he doesn't watch it, he'll find himself reduced to snogging pensioners.
Mind you, she did look quite a baby in the magazine we saw.
Yes, but they all do, don't they, Jules, now? I mean, look at Helen Mirren. She was in a bikini at 60. But they're all Botoxed and surgically uplifted and the pictures all airbrushed. Whereas our generation blew our good looks in the 60s and 70s, smoking pot and sleeping around.
Well, you speak for yourself, dear.
Come off it, Jules. You slept with the entire cast of O Calcutta in 1971.
Not the women.
I didn't mean the women.
And we were all naked in that show. It was a huge temptation.
Oh, fancy.
I did. Quite a lot of them.
Oh, shut up, you daft old sodom. It's so good to have you back with us again.
Yes, considering you were maid of honour at all of our weddings, it's only fitting that you should be reunited with us once more.
Well, tell me, was that because you were our very good mate? Or was it that you secretly fancied our husband?
How could you ask me such a thing? Firstly, I knew and loved all of you before you ever became involved with the ghastly Edmund. And secondly, I've never fancied men who were in love with themselves.
Oh, speak of the devil. Danny, love. Look who's our newest resident. It's Walter. Walter Neville.
Danny, old chap. Walter, is it really you? Oh, Walter, it's so wonderful to see you.
Did we tell Wall not to mention Vanessa?
I was so sorry to hear about Vanessa.
Life seems so empty without her. Oh, Danny, come and sit down there and pull yourself together.
Get one of your headaches.
Nice one.
Well, I didn't know what to say. You might have warned me. I can't believe that this is the same Danny that I used to know and frequently despise because he was such an arrogant bastard. God, he used to walk into a party and take it over. People used to groan when he arrived because the conversation would immediately be all about the master.
I know. Now he's just a shambling wreck of a man. Ah, well, he sits in his room every day watching DVDs of the master. It's tragic.
Sorry to upset you, old chap. You mustn't mind me. I spent too long playing Sergeant Majors, you know. Lost all sensitivity.
Oh, not at all, Walter. It's all my fault. The girls will tell you. I don't seem to get over my
loss.
Yes.
Did you go and see that therapist we recommended?
Oh, yes, I did, but just didn't work.
Why? She was absolutely marvellous at getting all three of us through the menopause without antidepressants. I absolutely swear by her.
Yes, but she was too nice. It just didn't work for me.
But surely that's good, isn't it? A nice, warm, motherly woman to tell your troubles to.
Oh, you don't understand. This is so difficult to explain.
But you don't have to, Danny. You don't have to explain anything to us. We're your friends.
Yes, you are my friends, darling. You're the best friends anybody can possibly have.
Now, Danny, you really must make an effort, though. Think of poor Walter. You'll frighten him away if you carry on like that.
Look, there you are, Walter. All's fine now.
There's a good boy. Now, I think it's about time we all repaired to the bar for a pre-dinner snifter, don't you?
What a sensible idea.
It's your husband. Your husband. He's in the Daily Mail.
Really? What's he done now?
He's disappeared. And Russian gangsters are after him.
What?
It's all in here. It's all in here.
Oh, Marcy, just calm down or you'll give yourself a heart attack or something.
Oh, I haven't got my glasses. Could someone read it out?
Thank you. I'll just get the glass. Oh, right now. What have we got? Well, the headline is Batman actor on the run.
Oh my God.
62-year-old Edmund Sullivan,
Yeah, and the rest.
a multi-millionaire villain in the last Batman movie, disappeared from his London flat 2 days ago. This follows the mysterious disappearance the week before of his girlfriend, Tatiana Molinsky, the glamorous 54-year-old mother of Russian oligarch Mike Molinsky. Neighbours in Edmund Sullivan's exclusive apartment block in Knightsbridge say that he was visited by some of Molinsky's henchmen the night before his disappearance. A friend of Sullivan's, who was present in the flat when Molinsky's men arrived, said they were very menacing, big guys with attitude, and they made it very clear that they wanted to know what Edmund had done with Tatiana Molinsky. It was very frightening. It was like they were accusing him of her murder or something. The friend added that she was bundled out of the flat and told to keep her mouth shut. She took the next plane for Los Angeles and telephoned the London police from the safety of the United States.
Some friend, they could have shot Edmund the moment she left the flat. By the time she phoned the police, they would have had time to ship his body back to Russia.
Oh, now, Marcy, don't get carried away.
No, the article specifically says that he was visited by these thugs the night before his disappearance. So that would suggest to me that his neighbours saw him alive after the visit.
There is more, if you'll allow me to read it.
Sorry, Bob. Carry on.
The police issued a statement saying that Mr. Sullivan was seen alive the next day, but neighbours reported that he got into a taxi with a suitcase and appeared to be in a hurry.
Told you.
Mike Molinsky, who has long been suspected of organised crime activities, denied any involvement with Mr. Sullivan. He said that he had never even met him, although Sullivan has been escorting his mother for many months. He stated that he understood that some of his employees, who did know Mr. Sullivan, had gone round to the actor's house for a friendly game of cards.
Yeah, right.
And furthermore, Mr. Molinsky denied categorically that his mother was missing. She has gone abroad for a holiday, that is all, he said. But he refused to disclose her whereabouts. Police issued a further statement saying that they had no knowledge of Mrs. Malinsky's alleged disappearance, and her son had not reported any such event to the police.
Oh dear, what has he done?
What has he done, indeed? Even by Edmund's standards, this is a very frightening scenario.
Oh, I don't know. It's probably on a par with the Las Vegas incident.
What happened in Las Vegas?
Edmund mistreated this girl in Las Vegas in the 1980s. Well, when I say mistreated, I mean normal Edmund behaviour. He went out with her a few times, slept with her, and then dumped her for someone prettier. Only the girl happened to be the daughter of a big Italian crime lord with several casinos on the strip.
So Edmund was beaten up by a couple of daddy's thugs, and he was dumped in the middle of the Nevada desert in his boyfriend's.
Yes. I would say that the Las Vegas incident would seem to be on a par with this latest one.
Oh dear, all this violence has been on one of my headaches.
Oh, poor Mr. Stiller. I'll go and fetch you medication.
Marcy, be a love and keep this to yourself for the moment, will you?
Of course, I won't breathe a word.
Oh, get a grip, man. Whatever happened to the days when you used to arm wrestle stuntmen on film sets?
Oh, that was a different person, Walter.
Oh, yes. We get the message.
There, Danny dear. Why don't you go to the bar and get us all a brandy? We've all had a shot and we all need a drink.
Yes, of course. I have to say that Danny Stiller, the mouse, is even more irritating than Danny Stiller, the egomaniac.
Well, never mind about Danny. What are we going to do about Edmund?
Well, what do you mean, we?
And what do you mean, do?
I mean, I'm sorry, Phil, but I wouldn't lift a finger to help my ex-husband if it meant that he was hanging on from one hand to the side of the Grand Canyon.
Me neither.
Well, you don't get it, do you? I'm not suggesting we help him out of love or loyalty or for the sake of old times. I'm suggesting that we prevent anything from happening to the man who pays our sodding bills.
Perhaps you'd be better off if Edward was dead. Then you could collect on insurance or benefit from his will.
Well, in the first place, none of us have kept up any payments on any insurance policies we had on him.
I couldn't afford the premiums.
Well, he kept doing reckless things and they kept going up.
And secondly, Edmund has never made a will. We know that because we share the same solicitor, and we've repeatedly asked him. Edmund won't make a will because he's been superstitious about it, ever since Errol Flynn made one the day before he died.
And even if he did make a will, there are 3 ex-wives and 2 children to share. What? Edmund's debts? Because he spends money like water, you know.
Yes, we have to have our living accommodation fees extracted from his salary, and if we had to wait for him to pay the bills after living the high life, we'd still be waiting.
You said children. Whose children? None of you have got any.
Oh, no, of course not. No. Well, there was the model in Brazil who bore him a child in 1973. That was the cause of my divorce from Edmund.
Yes, and then there was the child born to that French actress. Oh, what's her name?
Dominique Badois.
Yes, and that was the cause of my divorce from Edmund.
You poor things. Why didn't you tell me?
Oh, but pride, anger, whatever.
I escaped that particular fate. If you remember, the cause of my divorce was when a drunken Edmund had a car crash in Monaco, and the newspapers discovered that he'd registered into a hotel there under an assumed name with a young actress.
What a litany of selfishness.
Well, that's Edmund for you. Now, let's hope to God that the Russian mafia haven't topped the old bastard before we can sort something out.
Assuming we can find him, what can we possibly sort out?
Well, we could get him to sign a will for a start.
But he hasn't got any money.
Oh, No, but he will have. Think of the repeat fees. When he's dead and gone, and we're watching him in some bloody film on Sky One, we'll be coining it in.
You always were a clever one in our gang, Phil.
Thank you, Walter. But the only thing is, we do have to think of a way of getting a very good watertight will drawn up by someone.
My agent, Nigel, is an absolute whiz at all the gobbledygook to do with copyright, repeat fees, residuals and whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a standard last will and testament on file. I'll go and give him a ring now. Will Mrs. Thompson let me use the phone in the office?
Of course she will. And when you're finished, come back into the dining room and have dinner with us.
Oh, yes. Is it allowed? I mean, I'm not a resident yet.
Oh yes, of course it is silly. We can have as many guests as we like. And don't forget, Edmund is paying for it.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll have a double brandy and whatever is the most expensive thing on the menu. Oh, that's very kind of you, my dear. Thank you.
It's all very well drawing up a will, girls, but what if the Russians get to him first?
Well, they didn't kill him last night, did they? So presumably, he's given them reason not to.
Well, like what?
Well, perhaps he's told them where this Tatiana woman is and he's going to get her.
Yes, that sounds like Edmund. He always talks his way out of tight situations. But what if he can't find this woman? What if he was lying and goes to ground somewhere and the Russians put out a contract on him?
Oh, Becca, darling, you will have to stop watching reruns of Spooks. Be realistic. Where does Edmund always go when he gets into trouble?
He comes to us.
Exactly. So let's not worry so much about Mafia hitmen and concentrate instead on preparing for Edmund's arrival.
Let's go into dinner. I'm starving.
Good idea.
I've got the latest edition of the Stage. Do you want to take it into dinner with you?
No, darling. Leave it on the coffee table and we'll have a look when we have coffee.
Right out.
Mrs. Thompson?
You nearly gave me a heart attack. No, I'm not Mrs. Thompson. She's in the office, I expect. Have you got an appointment with her?
I rang earlier. She's expecting me.
Oh, I'll go and get her then. Can I have your name, please?
George Fabergé.
Oh, you an actor?
Oh, but of course, Mum.
Oh, good. We've never had a foreign actor here before. I must go and look you up. I'll go get Mrs. Thompson. George Fabergé, French. Kiss me and cool.
I think the hand kissing might have been a little over the top. I don't think I've been followed. I'm not sure about that red car. Stay away from the window, you fool. It's in all the best scripts. Stay away from the window when you're being followed. The good old state newspaper, only read by the grating spirit of pouring love. Takes me back. Let's have a look at the ads. Actors wanted for the cast of Porgy and Bess. Well, that's me a wrong colour. Actors wanted for drag review. That's again, wrong persuasion. Actresses wanted for a rerun of the vagina monologues. And it's strike three, wrong sex. Dear God, it must be bloody difficult getting a foothold in the profession nowadays. Back in my day, there were loads of ads which said things like, handsome young men wanted for Western film. Must be able to ride a horse and spit. cowboy as well. God, life is so complicated.
Ah, you must be the French gentleman who telephoned me earlier. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch your name.
Oh, Georges Fabergé, madame.
And you are, of course, an actor?
Oh, well, of course, madame.
Thompson. Anne Thompson.
Oh, but yes, Madame Thompson. I have been an actor for many, many years. Both in France, Hollywood, and here.
Oh, my goodness. I'm afraid I'm not much of a film girl, but might I've seen one of your films?
Oh, I was in The Day of the Jackals as a French policeman. Several war films. Oh, most recently I was in an episode of Paul as a Belgian policeman. Oh, far too many films for me to recall.
Of course. But what made you decide to come and live in our little establishment in England? What's the one in France?
Oh, but there are none in France, madame. Actors are not respected in my country. They are left to die, like old soldiers in the war of life. No respect, no word, c'est tragic, madame. All in England is the retired actor regarded with fondness on regard.
How awful for you. Well, I'm sure we can make you very comfortable in your twilight years. As I said earlier, if you have 1 minute left, would you like to come with me now and I will show you, and then I can give you a tour of the place before you make your decision.
Oh, that would be magnifique, madame. Please, lead the way.
Oh, but all our residents are at dinner at the moment. Otherwise, I could introduce you to those who occupy the room adjacent to the one I'm about to show you now. Oh, but if you'd like to come in here after the tour, I'm sure some of them will be having coffee, and I can introduce you then.
Oh, no, I wouldn't want to presume.
Oh, nonsense. They're a very friendly lot of meeting new people. Now, if you'd just like to follow me.
Oh, of course, madame.
Oh, finished dinner already?
No, I come to get my handbag. I've got some tissues in it. Oh, Danny's got into one of his crying jags again.
Oh, poor Mr. Stiller. No one will ever guess that he was once the master of the universe. Such a changed man.
Oh, such a pain in the arse, more like. Who'd have thought he was such a good actor? Extraordinary.
Eh? There's a new bloke here this evening.
Oh.
A dreamy French actor called Georges Fabergé. I haven't had time to look him up yet, but he's very distinguished and he kissed my hand and everything.
Things are looking up. Oh, it'd be rather nice to have somebody with a bit of a sex drive living here. French, shame he's not Italian. I adore Italian men.
Yeah, what are you like? I hope I'm up for a bit of slap and tickle when I get to your age.
Thank you so much, Marcy dear. I'm not quite ready for the flannel 90s and the bed socks just yet. Good God, what a cheek. The minute you get to 50, and they think it's all over. Well, not for this chick, baby. Oh, good God, I've got to go some cincher.
Danny, old chap, I'm extremely sorry that I said the wrong thing. I'd no idea that telling the story about your first film part would cause you to get in such a state.
Yes, well, you knew we took our honeymoon at the same time I was filming.
You know, it's about time you got beyond this excessive grief. Have you sought help?
Oh, I've tried everything, Walter. I've tried therapy, I've tried massage, I've tried reflexology, I've tried medication. I even went on a rebirthing course. But that set me back even further.
I do know what it's like, you know, to lose someone you've been close to. Martin and I had been together for 23 years. It's brutal when your closest friend and partner dies. I do know.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to be such a bore about this, Walter, but it's more than that with me.
How do you mean?
Well, what people don't realise, or what they didn't realise when I was younger, is I'm not really a very confident person.
Oh, Danny, that's not true. When you were younger, you were very confident, to the point of extreme irritation, I have to say.
No, you see, that was just all an act.
It was?
Yes, completely. All my life, I've been a shy, timid man who gives in easily to tears.
Get away.
It was only because of Vanessa that I was able to function as a normal, confident human being.
But how? I mean, what did Vanessa do that helped you so much?
Well, it's a little awkward to talk about. I've never told another living soul. But Vanessa used to dominate me.
What? Quiet little Vanessa? I can't imagine her dominating you.
Walter, you don't understand. She catered to my very special needs.
Oh my God, you mean, oh, get on. Sorry, old man. I'm a bit slow on the uptake.
I can't help it. It's ever since I was at public school. I have this need to be treated roughly by women. Otherwise, I can't be confident myself. I don't understand it. I just know it works for me.
Well, surely there are professional women who offer that sort of thing.
Yes, but I'm not really confident enough to go and see one, you see.
Yes, bit of a catch-22 situation there.
I went to see that therapist that Phil recommended, but she was such a nice, kind woman. And that just made me worse, you see. If women are gentle with me, it makes me 10 times worse. I lose myself completely then.
Yes, an unusual predicament. We'll have to get you out more. I mean, there must be some hard bitch out there who could sort you out.
Well, I haven't really been out now for a couple of years, apart from when I went to Phil Becker and Jules for dinner. I've got myself so low, I don't know how I'm going to get out of it.
And I suppose that every woman that you meet expects you to be master of the universe.
You have no idea how much that scene has blighted my life. So many women are obsessed by me. Oh, powerful master, who treats women like playthings. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many women just throw themselves at me. I mean, you wouldn't think of it to look at me now, would you?
No?
Well, it's an insoluble problem, Walter.
I wish I could help.
Well, just talking about it has been helpful, Walter, thank you.
Hey, Mark, you missed dessert. There was creme brulee on offer as well.
I'll go and see if they got one left. I'm quite hungry now.
You do that, dear. It might perk you up a bit.
I don't know what we're going to do with him, really, I don't.
Did you have a good talk with him, Walt?
Yes, I did, and I know what the problem is.
Oh, do tell.
He's a masochist.
Well, that's a bit of a generalisation.
No, I'm not being general, I'm being specific. Danny is a masochist.
You mean Vanessa was...
A dominatrix.
Ah. To think, she used to bake us all scones. Well, I shudder to think what those hands have done.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just don't get it. How bizarre.
I wished I'd have known. I'm quite handy with a wing.
Shut up.
But listen, girls, he told me that in confidence. You mustn't breathe a word. He'd be mortified if you knew.
Quite. But I shall never look at him the same way again.
What? Nothing at all, darling. Sit down next to me and have a coffee.
By the way, gang, Marcy tells me we have yet another new resident, a French actor called Georges Fabergé.
Oh, French, how exotic.
I do hope he's red-blooded. Oh, no offence, Walter.
None taken.
Now, if she'd said that Franco Nero was moving up the wall, I'd have had to put a pair of fishnet stockings on before you could say lasagna.
No offence, Danny, but it's been a very long time since we've had any man in this establishment who's had anything approaching a libido.
Hand kisser. Oh, yes.
That's the full tour, Monsieur Fabergé. Can I take it that you'll be taking on our vacant room?
But of course, madame. This place is so charming. I shall move in immediately.
Immediately?
Oh, but yes. I have got one small suitcase outside. My other possessions are in storage. That's it. If you don't mind, my moving in immediately.
Oh, no. I'll get Marcy to make up the bed and give a quick dust around. If you'd like to leave your luggage in the lounge, I will let you know when your room is ready.
Oh, but of course, madame.
Just to let you know, we're having another new resident coming this evening. A French actor called Georges Fabergé. So, anyway, I can't stop. I have to get his room ready.
Righto.
Oh, does my hair look all right?
Fabulous, darling. Put a little blusher on your cheeks.
Where's my lipstick?
I don't give up this fuss over a Frenchman.
I agree. I prefer Italians myself. And as I said, if she'd have moved Franco Nero up the wall, I would have had a pair of fishnet stockings on before you could say the word lasagna.
Yes, like I said, it's been a very long time since we've had anyone in this establishment with anything approaching a libido.
Well, if it isn't the witches of Eastwick.
Edmund, I might have known.
So I suppose you're the mysterious Georges Fabergé.
I'll ignore that jibe. I mean, look, it's Walk on Wally, the former master of the universe. How are you, chaps?
I do wish you would persist with that ridiculous nickname.
Yes. How can you be so insensitive? Walk on, Wally.
Not to mention inaccurate.
Yes. Walter has probably had more lines to say in the whole of his career than any of us put together.
True. It's just that they were always the same lines.
What do you think you were doing, you old little soldier?
It's true that I've been typecast a great deal during my career. Nevertheless, that does not make me any less successful.
No, of course not, old man. Just a bit of fun. Here, shake my hand and we'll start again. Despite my ill-chosen banter, Walter, I am glad to see you. It's been a long time.
Yes, not since your last wedding.
Ah, yes. The darling wives. Number 1. Number 2. And last but not least, number 3. Danny, old boy. How's it going? Still raking it in with all those foreign sales, eh?
Well, yes, apparently the Russians are still quite fond of the master.
Don't mention the Russians to me, old man. You might be popular with the Ruskies, but at the moment, I am most definitely not.
Yes, we heard. It's been on the news and in the papers. You apparently have disappeared without trace.
Shame it's not true.
Well, I'm afraid it's going to have to stay that way for a little while longer. Just until this misunderstanding blows over.
Exactly what little misunderstanding is that?
I don't want to bore you with the details.
Oh, please do. We're dying to know what's happened to Tatiana.
Ah, you know about Tatiana then?
How could we not? It's all over the papers. You and the mother of a Russian gangster. very colourful.
So where is this woman?
Yes, Edmund, what have you done with her?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I am innocent of her fate.
Oh, no, you're not. You're never innocent of anything. Give us the full story.
Yes, the full story.
Very well. I can see you won't be satisfied until you worm this out of me.
No, we won't.
Ah, I met Tatiana Malinski at the premiere of the Batman film a couple of months ago. Very attractive woman. Magnificent body for her age.
Yes, thank you. We get the picture.
You wanted to know?
Oh, just carry on.
Ah, we got on like a house on fire, even though she was older than my usual girlfriends.
Again with the age thing.
I can't help it, Becca. Whatever it is, I'm attracted to younger women.
Yes, we know.
Thank you. Well, Tatiana became my latest squeeze.
Your what?
Sorry, Walter. That's LA speak for girlfriend. Where was I?
Tatiana was your latest squeeze.
Oh, yes, thank you. Everything was fine for a while. Very passionate woman, as Russians are.
Oh, you would have extensive experience of Russian women, of course.
Well, I've known a few. I can't say I never haven't. Anyway, Tatiana, she was exceptionally passionate and very possessive. She would get unreasonably jealous if I so much as looked at another woman, which became very tiresome, so I'm afraid I strayed.
Oh, really? Somebody should take you to a vet's to have your binks done.
Or put bromide in your tea.
It's disgraceful.
Do you want me to continue, or are you too busy fantasising about having my bits cut off?
Carry on.
Well, as I said, I strayed with this 20-something-year-old actress, and Tatiana caught us.
What? In flagrante, as it were?
I'm afraid so. She was incandescent with rage. Through a lot of things, as I remember. Threatened to kill me, yes. That was in there too, as well as brandishing a knife at one point. Truly terrifying. Next thing I know, there's these very menacing Russians in my flat, threatening to do unspeakable things to me if I failed to produce their boss's mother.
So how did you get out of this situation?
I told them I thought I knew where she was and I would go and persuade her to come home.
Do you?
Haven't the faintest idea, old man. Hence my checking into here in disguise. Couldn't think of anything else to do. Told my agents I was disappearing for a few weeks until all this blows over.
Wow. I should say this is a fairly typical Edmund Sullivan scenario, wouldn't you?
Ah, Mr. Fabergé, your room is ready now. If you'd like to come with me into the office and sign the tenancy agreement, and then you can go and unpack.
Oh, but of course, madame. Leads the way. I'm relying on all of you to keep my secret.
Oh, don't worry, Edmund. We wouldn't dream of letting any harm come to you. Not yet, anyway.
Oh, Miss Paris has brought over for my head and going to go to bed.
You do that, dear. Have a good night's sleep.
Good night.
Well, I must go and get my stuff together. I'll drop off at Nigel's on my way here in the morning and pick up that will.
Oh, he's got one then.
Yes, I knew he would. I asked him to insert a clause about repeat fees, etc., passing to 3 ex-wives upon death. He was a bit confused for a moment because he thought the will was for me.
Well done, Walter. We'll see you in the morning
Oh,
then.
bright and early. Thank you, my dear.
What would we do without Walter?
Yes, he's such a rock.
There's a foreign reporter here, and he wants to speak to the 3 of you.
What, all of us?
Yeah, and he's brought a photographer along. Oh, I don't like the look of him at all.
Well, you'd better bring him in, Marcy dear. Thank God I put some lipstick on.
I bet this is about Edmund. I bet all the newspapers have found out where we are, and they're going to beat a path to our door.
Yes, well, we'd better keep Edmund out of sight. Jules, you go and warn him, and then come straight back. Because having our picture in the papers might be very good for our careers.
Yes, you never know.
I'm going to enjoy this. We can be as nasty as we like about Edmund, and he can't do anything about it.
Not true. There's always a silver lining in everything, isn't there?
Mr. Again.
Molinski.
Oh my God!
Well, this is my photographer, Dimitri.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Milinski. Marcy, can you come here a moment, please? Here, can you give this to Jules? And bring some tea for our guests. I'm sure that they would. Would you like a cup of tea, Mr. Milinski?
That would be very nice.
And please, do sit down.
How can we help you, Mr. Milinski?
I think we both know the answer to that, ladies. You know I am not a reporter. You know I am the son of the woman your ex-husband has abducted.
Oh, not abducted, surely. I mean, we know Edmund's a rat, but he's not. He's totally incapable of doing anything like that.
Quite incapable?
Your loyalty to your ex-husband is touching. But believe me, ladies, when I tell you that when I find this man who has abducted my mother, I will kill him with my bare hands. Maybe a blade.
Oh, look, Mr. Milinski, we haven't got a clue where this king of a man we once married is. If we knew, we would tell you immediately, and probably sit and watch while you carved him up.
Believe me, we have absolutely no loyalty to Edmund, and we really don't know where he is.
I'll lie.
Look, Mr. Milinski, no one is lying to you. Now, please, sit down and have a cup of tea and let's talk this all through.
It's Jules. Can I come in? Oh, it's the other Mrs. Sullivan. She really should be here, and then we can all tell you our side of the story.
Round door!
Is everything okay?
Perfectly, dear. Mr. Milinski's just entertaining us with a description of what he's going to do to Edmund when he finds him.
Oh, something very painful, I hope.
This man must be very bad for you to hate him so much.
Yes, very bad.
But he still wouldn't have hurt your mother. I mean, Edmund has never raised a finger to any of us.
Nor raised his voice either, come to that.
No. He never rows with women. He just ignores them.
And tramples on their feelings.
And breaks their hearts.
But he's a sweetie, really. Did you get hold of Walter?
Yes, he's on his way back.
These women appear to be mad. Is this an insane asylum? So, tell me, how has this man broken your hearts?
Oh, well, I was married to him first. When I was paying Ophelia to his Hamlet in Birmingham.
Ophelia?
Shakespeare. Edmund and I were Shakespearean actors at the time.
Oh.
Oh, we had a lovely big wedding in a church and a great big party in the theatre after the show. I found out afterwards that Edmund had slept with my bridesmaid during the interval.
Interval?
The 20-minute break in the middle of the play.
He slept with your bridesmaid on the day you were married?
Yes, but that was just one of many, I can assure you. He admitted in the divorce court to 19 affairs during the 6 years of our marriage. And then, of course, there was the child he fathered in Brazil.
19 affairs and a bastard child? This man must die.
Wait till you hear my story. I was married to Edmund for 7 years, during which he had 17 affairs and fathered another child in Paris.
Some Casanova, eh?
I suppose, although some would call him just immature. I mean, his constant need for women is really all down to his constant need to be admired. Oh, and the fact that he has no morals. He sees nothing wrong at all in being a serial adulterer. To him, sex is just like having a conversation, a meaningless pleasantry.
Oh, that is true, darling, so true.
And this is the man who has despoiled my mother?
Oh, despoiled. How wonderfully Shakespearean that word is.
But highly inaccurate. I mean, with all due respect, Mr. Milinski, your mother is a little on the old side to be despoiled, isn't she?
My mother is 54! That is not old! Once upon a time it was old. Once upon a time when Russian women reached the age of 50, they became matushkas. Wore black, grow fat, take up knitting. Nowadays, because of evil Western influences, they don't grow old. They take HRT. Suddenly, my mother is wearing short skirts, dyeing her hair and having Botox injections. Do you know what my mother asked me to buy her for Christmas? New breasts! My own mother, she says to me, Misha, my breasts need a lift. You can pay for the surgery for Christmas. What kind of a mother asks her son for a thing like that? My father has only been dead for 8 years. She should be grieving. She should be wearing black and growing fat and
Knitting?
listen, doing the knit. Instead, she's sleeping with this.
Pig of a man?
Yes, this guessing of her, this breaker of women's hearts. Other men have real Russian mothers. White, with white hair, fat, with blue veins on their legs, wrinkled stockings who smell of bread and soup and keep their husbands warm in bed at night. I am cursed with a mother who has the breasts of a 20-year-old, who wears silk and furs and smells of Dior.
There. It must be terrible for you.
Aren't Russians wonderfully dramatic?
I have made up my mind. When I find this man who has dirtied my mother, they shall both die.
Oh, isn't that a little extreme? I mean, I can understand you wanting to take Edmund's life. God knows you wouldn't be the first. But your own mother.
This is the penalty for having a sex drive over the age of 50. She should have thought of that before she disgraced the Russian ideal of womanhood.
It's quite mad, you know. You can see how the Russians managed to produce people like Ivan the Terrible and Stalin.
These women are quite mad, you know. You can tell how the English managed to produce people like King Charles and Hugh Grant.
What's all the commotion about in there? Open the door, Mr. Nice Gentleman, and I won't have to take you down the hill. Detective Inspector Peabody, Westminster CID.
Is there some problem, officer?
You tell me, Sonny. I received a report to the effect that you were intimidating these ladies. And furthermore, I understand that you posed as a newspaper reporter in order to gain entry. I'm afraid I'm going to have to take you down to the police station for questioning.
Oh, there's been some mistake, Constable.
Inspector!
Oh, I'm sorry, Inspector. We have just been taking tea with these dear ladies. Is that not so?
Yes.
Well, perhaps as maybe, but I have to conduct an investigation. Ladies, if you would care to come to the office with me, we can talk about this matter in private. Gentlemen, I suggest you wait here until I have finished. I will need to take your statements.
Of course, Sergeant.
Inspector! Come on, ladies.
Stupid British policeman. Always interfering at the wrong time. Well, if he thinks we're waiting here until he comes back to take our statements, he's got another thing coming. I know these women are lying. They are still in love with their ex-husband, and they are protecting him. But I shall find out this.
Oh, hello. Have you finished your interview then?
Yes.
Are you an entertainment reporter? I mean, I love a job like that, you know, interviewing the stars, and I'd be dead good at it, because I know everything about everybody.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. I spend hours on the internet looking up actors' biographies, especially anybody who comes to live here, but I'm dead good at research.
Well, perhaps you would like a job on my newspaper.
Really?
You could come with me now to meet the editor.
What, right now? No. I couldn't let Mrs. Thompson down. And in fact, I don't finish work till 10, so I've got another 2 hours before my shift finishes.
Oh, I'm sure you could come with us now. They could probably offer you a job straight away.
Oh, that would be a problem. Mrs. Thompson would never find a replacement for me at such short notice. No, it's very kind of you. I mean, cool, I'd love the job and everything, but I couldn't let Mrs. Thompson down.
Oh, I think you could. In fact, I insist. Dimitri. And don't worry about a replacement, my dear. I know just the girl to come and take your place tomorrow. Meanwhile, you and I can have a little chat about all the people who come and go in this strange place. Dimitri, take her to the car. Okay, Mr. Casanova, Mr. Big Shot actor who has abducted my bunny. You better kiss your ass goodbye, because Mike Molinsky is coming after you. And your Russian floozy of a girlfriend who has forgotten how to